victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the first race of the National Sim Racing League Association ARCA Series here at Daytona. Should be an absolute thriller here tonight. The VSPEED debut of the new ARCA car here in a new league on VSPEED, presented to you by A+ Transmission Specialists. Glad to have them on board for this race here at Daytona. And before we get into the track itself, it would be crazy of me not to mention I'm here alongside Santa himself, Logan Throkeld. I'm Morgan Cook. How you doing, Logan?
I'm doing great, Morgan. Happy to be here, and man, what a place to start off a fresh series here on the channel at none other than Daytona International Speedway. It's going to be a fantastic race tonight.
Absolutely. Logan will be providing color commentary this evening. I will be your host and producer. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the notification icon so you don't miss a moment of the great racing action you can't get anywhere else here on VSPEED. Well, let's talk about the Cathedral, the one that all these drivers want to win at so very badly. Daytona International Speedway opened in 1959, 2.5 miles. These 31-degree corners, some of the highest banked in stock car racing. It's an absolutely hollowed ground. There's not much more you can say about it that hasn't been said already. Logan, you give it a shot.
Well, opened up back in February 22nd of 1959. Some would say that the birth of America was July 4th of 1776. But I'm telling you right now, it was back here in 1959 at Daytona International Speedway. It's just synonymous for putting on some of the best racing you will ever see. The track is not easy. You might think it is, but it plays a big mental game on these drivers. It is all out every single second of this race, from that first green flag all the way to the checkered, and it is anybody's ball game at this track.
Absolutely. And before we get down to the grid, we know that there have been some devastating events down in Texas with the floods. So we want to offer a moment of silence here on VSPEED to honor those who have lost their lives in this tragedy, and to give thanks to all of those who are working so hard to rectify these issues. We give our thanks to all those men and women. And now, with the rest of the show. It's time for the grid. Starting on pole, familiar name here on VSPEED, Josh Adams. Gonna roll off in the first position there in that 30 machine. Matthew Montgomery gonna start in the second spot. Third will be Derek Scattle. In the 10, Dustin Lewis will start in fourth here tonight. Fifth, we'll roll off with Zechariah Cartledge. Jared Green makes up row 3. Seventh will be Sean Warobe in the 20. Rayshawn Winkfield in 8th. Rounding out your top 10, Toby Ritters and Aaron Espy.
Behind our top 10, we're going to start with the number 4 of Shane Wheeldon. In the 11th position, next to the 26 of Skylar Daly, another name that you're used to here on the VSPEED channel. In 13th, it'll be the 72 of Tyler Ballman, next to the 47 of Nicholas White. Back in 15th, we've got Jaden Mizell in the 17 machine, next to the 1 of Kai Collymore. 17th belongs to Caleb Jones in the 02, next to the 8 of Jacob Cochran in 18th. And last but not least, in the top 20, it's the Alex Pollock machine, the 92, next to the 76 of Scott Rush.
21st tonight will be Mark Cofield in the 97. Michael Cole will start 22nd. Row 12 belongs to Michael Privat and David Moyer. 25th will be Jordan Bridges. Daniel Silla will start in 26th. 27th, Gino Volante. Ryan Collins in 28th. 29th will be Derek Moss. And 30th, Andy Berry for the final 10. Back to Logan.
In 31st, it's Stephen Gill next to the 65 of Brandon Bees. 33rd belongs to Peyton Bass in the 48 next to the 64 of Robert Boyer. 35th will be Sam Bridges in the 78 next to the 14 of Gregory Vadnais. Corey Spencer in the 34 next to the 39 of Ed Robley. And last but not least, our 40-car field with Jameel Gills in the 6 next to the 59 of Roy Sprague.
All right, and that is your grid here to start the first race of the NSRLA season. Should be a fun one the rest of the way. Drivers rolling off at turn 4 already. Not sure if we're going to have time for a race analysis. We'll try it. 60 laps, 60 miles an hour on pit road. Don't speed. 2 sets of tires available. 2 green, white checkers, and fuel will be a factor. We did it. Look at us go. End of the green flag. For the first time this season, we're racing at Daytona. Lap number 1, that is going to be Matthew Montgomery.
A whole more laps to go before this one's settled out, though. That first lap, it's a good feeling to get that number 1 lap of the brand new season under the belt in the lead. But it's going to be all out from here. That 16 to 20 laps of fuel is going to play a major factor. Already getting squirrely up here. 3 wide at the front of the field, Morgan.
Jared Green got shoved out of line. him and SB. SB was the fastest in practice. They're trying to make that high line work here. 53 of Dustin Lewis kind of forced the issue there, and he is, in fact, riding the Dente with Rayshawn Wingfield right behind him in the Applebee's scheme. Chili scheme, sorry.
We're riding right into our first caution of the night here on lap 2. It's the 31 involved.
Corey Spencer.
Down into the grass there at the entrance of turn 3. Something must have happened midway down the backstretch that we didn't catch.
Now let's have a look here. Oh, there it is. Go back a little further. Off the front of the 7, it looked like. Door banging there.
Fine packs already. All looks calm right here through turns 1 and 2. Your leaders of this second pack keeping it very close, door to door. Down the backstretch we go. You're going to see that 7 on the bottom make some ground here. Gets to the right side of that 48. Just turns him up the track. The 31. Completely innocent bystander right there. We're already going to have a couple cars here taking that one and only fast repair on the night extremely early here. And that's not what you want to do.
No, absolutely not. But that is part of the name, part of the game here at Daytona, I should say. The name of the game here at Daytona is you got to avoid the accidents. You got to avoid the big ones and whatever scuffles you may find yourself in. And if you can do that, you can keep that car in one piece. It at least gives you a shot at the end of the race. And that's all these drivers want, is just a shot at the end of 60 laps.
That, you know, this kind of plays into a factor. Surely we won't see anybody bring it down for fuel just yet, but as we go through this race, the cautions will completely change up the strategy on the fuel cell. Only 50% here on tonight's race for these ARCA cars, so it really shortens it. Typically you'll see about 35 laps on a full fuel cell run at 50%, anywhere from 16 to 20, somewhere in that range. Now that also comes into play of how well you draft with your partner in this race. You can save some fuel bouncing back and forth in line together. It's all going to come down to who's going to run at the front of this pack. That's really going to be what sets the precedence here on the fuel run.
Absolutely. You can see that race analysis. If you missed it as we did our rush job trying to get to the green flag here, there's a look at your race analysis here. So 60 laps, 60 miles an hour on pit road. Definitely do not want to speed here. That is a one-way ticket to not winning this race. 2 tire sets available. You got 1 on the car, 2 laying on pit road. 2 green-white checkers in case we need them. Hopefully we don't, but it is Daytona after all. As Logan has mentioned, 1 fast repair available. Some drivers have already used that. Only 1 driver, 2 drivers have. Looks like V's and Bass have both used that fast repair, as well as Corey Spencer. And 16 to 20 laps of fuel here. So that's going to get a little dicey at some point in the race. I am sure of it.
Yeah, it will certainly get dicey. You've already said it. That's the name of the game here at the super speedways. And of course you have to worry about that first race, the yips. You know, it's more commonly a baseball term there for that, but it transitions over into the motorsports world. You got to get the nerves out of the way. We'll see a lot of these drivers start to settle into a nice pace here. Once we get some green flag runs in, I would say about 10 laps of side-by-side racing, all those nerves are out of that driver's window and somewhere floating around on the infield. You just totally forget about it and get into your rhythm.
One thing I want to mention as well is this is one of the larger skill gaps in terms of a league that I've really ever seen here on VSPEED. We have some drivers who are up in the 4,500 range for iRating, which is, if you're not aware, that's like top 2%. That is incredible on the sim. And we have some drivers who are hanging out around the 800 area, which is on the other end of the spectrum. Nothing wrong with that. We all have our various strengths, and some drivers are very good at super speedways. So I'm curious to see how that plays a factor. Some drivers who are a lot newer on the sim than others. Should be a really interesting season all the way throughout the season here for the NSRLA ARCA series.
And that's one of my favorite things about starting out here on a super speedway. That skill gap can be just as big as you want it to be. But every single one of these drivers has an equal opportunity to come away with a win to start off the season. And it's really just going to come down to luck in most cases that you'll see at Daytona or Talladega. Where you'll see that skill really come into play will be our intermediate tracks as we get through the schedule.
Absolutely right, and this is also a great learning ground for drivers who maybe aren't as knowledgeable about how to drive this sim as others. This is a great place to learn from, right? You follow someone who is routinely faster than you. You have no choice but to get faster as well by learning what they're doing. So, see a driver like Josh Adams, who we're watching right here, seen him all over VSPEED here recently. He's good. He's good at what he does. Definitely a driver some of these guys are going to want to follow when you get to the more handling-based tracks, your various 1.5 miles and short tracks. He'll be someone to watch, absolutely.
Mentioned a couple names that are, pretty active on the VSPEED channel. We've seen plenty of them take turns around the track. It's time to see some fresh names and see what some of these other guys can do as this pace car is about to come off for restart number 2.
Absolutely.
Cartlidge tried to give a little bit of a shove there to Montgomery on that start. Didn't quite work out. The 78 slow on the top line. A little over halfway through the field. Still just falling back. Cannot find a place on the bottom line to sneak into. Maybe we can drop down behind this 97. Going to keep it up on the top. Back up towards the front of the field. The 02 now side by side here coming down the back stretch.
We are with Caleb Jones. Mid-pack look in here. He's running P15 at the moment. Big runs in these ARCA cars. You see that?
Yeah, that was a massive.
Oh, we're almost wrecked him.
Closure squirrely on the bottom of the track. Got it collected back up, but we're already back to that defined 2, even 3 groups now, starting to get separated from the entire pack. And this can also come down to strategy here, Morgan. You play it safe back here with a couple cars. You focus on the fuel saving and let all the racing happen up front. We've seen one caution early already. Chances of seeing another one are pretty high. Cautions do breed cautions, but it's all out racing up here at the front of this thing. Still 2x2 for about 7 rows.
We got about 5 distinct groups here around this Daytona Speedway. We got this lead group, of course, the main pack. Then there's a group of 5 that we were just on with, another group of 5, then a bigger group a little further back, and then a few stragglers behind them. So definitely everyone's spreading out very soon here at Daytona, a little sooner than maybe would have anticipated. But again, those pit stops, you probably want to pit with smaller groups. You just don't want to give up track position either. It's going to be, for a super speedway, hard to pass.
These cars can get such massive runs, as we've already seen, and a little bit of a checkup into the corners sometimes as well. So that closure rate can be, quite a few feet per second in most cases. These cars just get massive, massive runs at times. And it can be quite hairy in certain situations as the front of this pack getting squirrely there on the top line. The first 3 cars trying to find a position here to settle into.
Right on board with Aaron Espy, one of the admins for this league. Appreciate all the work he's done and all the other admins to make sure that we're able to get racing here. So we'll get shoved below the line. That's not very nice.
He's going to lose that draft now of that first pack. He is pretty well out of that bubble now. He'll get picked up by that second pack once they start to catch up. I don't know, he might be close enough to still get a little bit of help from the draft. We'll see if Espy can rejoin those first roughly 12 to 15 drivers up there, but I'd say more than likely he's going to lead the second pack here.
And let's look at this closing right here. You're gonna have to dive out of line if you're further back to not get run over, and that's gonna only hurt them further. A few black flags being given as well.
Got some of the wall in the 3.
Bunch of black flags being given here. Oh, they're still wrecking behind them.
Oh, even more contact.
Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we got a lot to unpack here, Logan.
Speechless at some of this, but
so it started off with the 26 here. What happened? Tried to get back in line. Alex Pollock said not going to happen. Almost had it saved, and then up into the 43 he went. So that was incident number 1. Now we got
a 17 right behind there.
17
wrapped up in one as well. Jaden Mazzell.
All right, what happened to the 17 machine?
Looked like it was just going to be a slight checkup back here for the incident that was happening just ahead. Got it back here now, coming into turn 3. You'll see the contact ahead as the 92 tries to make that middle line work. There's a little check up there.
From the 35 got him.
It.
And then I think the biggest hit of this entire accident was right there, the 42, who just sailed through everybody, ended up on his lid. 42 of Derek Moss. There's on his lid right there. Let's go from the onboard here. That'll be a fun one. So this was earlier when they were trying to fit in behind SB. He dove to the high side to avoid that. Can't quite see the accident coming here. Tries to power through it, and the O2 gets shot up in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like the O2 might have had some contact as well from the bottom.
That is not what you want to see.
That is a instant tow truck needed situation. You're not going to get that one flipped back over, so that's an extra couple minutes of time.
Ooh, those front tires aren't supposed to look like that.
Absolutely not, but that's vast repair waiting on that one once the truck, once the tow truck finally gets into pit lane with the car.
Must have Joey Logano's tow truck driver from Pocono last year. That's what I'm thinking. But little strategy happening right here. We have three drivers stay out. Everyone else on the pit lane. Dustin Lewis, Gregory Vadnais, and Andy Berry, the admin of the league, the owner of the league in that 21 machine. The only drivers who have stayed out under this caution. Let's get a look at that Diesel Laptops machine. Of course, they will be a primary sponsor for most of the races this season. Big thank you to them for helping make this league possible.
I'm thinking that the 21 did bring it down. I think
you're right.
Berry's the first one out on the new,
but did not hit the pit box. Went down pit lane, but they have yet to actually hit the pit box. So I think that may have just been, I couldn't find where my stall was, and I did the best with what I had, I'm thinking is what happened there. Because I see Dustin Lewis has 11 laps on his stuff, and Vadnais has 6 laps on his stuff. He pit earlier in the show here, so we'll see how it shakes out for them.
Again, a whole lot more race to go before this one's settled, so no matter where you're at in this field, as long as you can make it to that last lap, you still have an opportunity. Anything can happen here. We've seen it plenty of times. That white flag waves, all bets are off. That caution flag will not come back out. So it's a race to the finish, no matter if the leaders wreck, if the middle of the pack just explodes. Whatever happens, happens.
Absolutely right. And this is one of the most wild forms of racing that there is. You never know what's going to happen. We've been shooketh many times up here in the VSPEED booth with things that just come out of nowhere. All the time. Almost every time we're at a super speedway, we have some sort of surprise. And the question is, Logan, and the question we're going to answer here in about 40-some laps is, what is that surprise?
You know, as a broadcaster, you always hope for the coolest thing. And, you know, that's, to me, is a 3-wide photo finish here at Daytona. 4-wide potentially at Talladega. You got the potential of 4-wide here as well. Just a little bit more narrow of a track coming through that tri-oval section, so
a Lee Petty style finish here, like they had in 1959. You know what I'm talking about, Logan?
Yeah, no, I wasn't born back in 1959, so I don't have that memory unlocked.
I wasn't either, but I do read books. Sorry, Logan, that was a low blow. The first ever Daytona 500 was a 3-wide finish, where it was Johnny Beauchamp, there was another driver whose name eludes me, and Lee Petty, who were all in white cars, all side by side, offset 3-wide, as our other producer Bradley Cooper likes to say here on VSPEED. And they initially declared, I think it was Johnny Beauchamp, the winner of that race. It wasn't until later they found someone right on the start-finish line in the infield, took the crispest, the most crisp 1959 picture ever taken, right at the start-finish line, showed Lee Petty clearly winning that race over Beauchamp. Really, really cool shot, and one of those races that really just makes you go like, wow, there's a reason Daytona is so special.
And it just, every single year continues to amaze us. And That pace car is going to come back off. We're going to get back into the Geico restart zone. Barry the flag man, green flag in hand, ready to drop it. And we are back under green here for the start of lap 13.
Land rush down here into turn number 1. What a massive field.
We were talking about that a little bit before the show started, Morgan. This is a great showing for a brand new league to come out here and have 40 cars show up in race number 1. Super speedway racing always attracts more attention, but very rarely do you see nearly a full 43 car field show up. So 40 cars out here tonight. We'll see how many we finish with. That will be the telltale sign how the season has the potential to go. Down out of turn number 4. We got Andy Berry, the 21, leading this pack here. Start lap 14.
Absolutely, and the high side's coming back here. Toby Ritter's in the 88, trying to make a little bit of noise here. Driver up in the wall, that's the 7 machine.
Ryan Collins making a little bit of contact there on corner entry. Barry's going to go right back up to the top. He's going to try to control both lanes.
Oh, killed the high side.
Run.
Absolutely.
There goes Sean Worob.
Absolutely killed the high side's momentum when he tried to go up there and block it, threw the anchor out, put the 20 to the lead, and he's repping Dale Jr. back in the mid-2010s, that AMP Energy machine. Little 3-wide action further back.
Still right there with Ryan Collins. That's around that 17th position. Looks like nearly contact made with Collins in the car on the inside, but they got it settled out. Collins still falling back through the field. 3 wide one more time. He needs to try to work back into it. He's going to make contact with the wall one more time on the entrance of 1. So here comes that top line, getting right back to the back bumper of him. Now we might see another group start to form and make a run on the top, catch back up with our leaders.
Absolutely. This is the longest we've had this lead pack kind of stay together with this many cars. Oh, Josh Adams trying to force it up the middle. But the 4 cars through. Oh, they're wrecking behind them. The 4's in the wall.
Did they just collect that back up? They nearly did.
Oh, he's still collecting it.
Still getting loose.
I think we're good. Oh, my goodness. The 4 is destroyed. But somehow they did not cause a caution. Unbelievable.
Nearly completely sideways, but look at that left front wheel, all the camber that it's got now, and it's just flopping. Tie rod is broke on the 4 machine. I don't think the other drivers behind realize it. I'm not even sure that he realizes it. Sean Wheeldon right now on the top line, a broken left front suspension.
Absolutely, and a few drivers who got black flags out of that. Your leader, Sean Worob, and Aaron Espy as well, both with black flags, are going to have to serve here. That could cause some issues as we have to pit to serve penalties. Well, this has been unbelievable.
Do not have reasoning on those black flags for Worob and Espy. See if we can find some information on that here. An update. We find folks at home watching this race here.
Espy's on pit road right now.
Espy's already on pit road. The 88 of Toby Ritters will now be in control of the race. He's got 3 more cars behind. It's the 10 of Derek Squattle, the 30 of Joshua Adams, and the 21 of Andy Berry.
Yeah, so 4 cars broken away from this field. Then it's a good 2 seconds back to your next 6 or 7 cars. What a big shakeup that is in this race. And most of these guys on the same strategy. You got to go back to Dustin Lewis in the second pack, the first driver who was really in a bad spot on fuel. So what happens to him? He can't hit with this lead, with this group, because they're not going to go with him. So is he just going to have to bail out and hope for the best?
With those 2 cautions that we've had, his fuel range should extend to about 22 to 24 laps. So it's just a moment here that we will see him try to work down pit road and get some fresh fuel in the 53 machine. Dustin Lewis, like you said, in a bad spot right now. We'll see how he pulls it off. You know, looking at the rest of the field, he is realistically the only one that needs to pit Ryan Collins and Gregory Vadnais, I apologize, will be next in line for the pit cycle.
And you can see the last lap that each driver pit on your ticker. So a lot of 11s, meaning they pit at that caution. You see a big 0 for Lewis, meaning he has not hit the pit lane quite yet. What is this going to spell for that driver?
Tell you what, Morgan, I don't care how many cars you put in a line. I think that 4 in a tandem is the most ideal situation to get a good run away from the rest of the cars. Right now, we're down to just 3 that are leading this.
Barry had to pit.
One of Barry fell off. Yeah, he came down pit road there.
Well, remember, he didn't pit. He went down pit road, but did not hit the stall. So he effectively had not pit yet in this race.
That's correct. I forgot about that with the 21 machine. So now it's just a 3-car tandem to run away with it. But they've got almost 3.5 seconds back to 4th.
Issue for the 7. He is coming down pit road. Let's see what happened to him. Driver's up in the grass here. That's Pollock behind him. I think he just pulls it off. Might have radiator damage on that 7 machine.
Hearing calls over the driver comms about the 1 machine possibly missing a front end. We could take a look at him.
Oh, yeah, Kai Collymore, absolutely. Just disappeared on me. Where'd he go? There it is.
Well, that one looks pretty well intact to me. He's got quite a bit of damage there now that we've got the rear-facing camera off of, I believe that's the 9 of Matthew Montgomery here.
It's not the 01 either. So both of the 1 machines seem to have the necessary parts and pieces to get around this racetrack.
Every little bit of aero damage does matter. We saw quite a bit there on the right front of the 1. Kai Collymore will have to get that repaired. Doesn't look bad enough to use a fast repair. I would say probably 30 to 45 seconds of damage there before that nose is back to shape.
A little bit of left side damage too. You can see that left side a bit shaken, so to speak.
Overall, not bad though. He's keeping up with the pack pretty well here.
Absolutely, and this seems like a decent enough time to maybe do a couple onboards. What do you think? Let's have a look and see what the 92's got going on. There's a look at Alex Pollock. What he sees inside the car, as well as what you see of the driver doing his thing right now.
Love having the diecast collection on display over that right shoulder.
Really means you know what you're doing.
We got a helmet back there too. You don't see those too often.
You do not. You absolutely do not.
Just a little casual conversation with the team. Peace sign finally saw himself up here on the broadcast. That's what we like to see.
It is. Yeah, glad to have driver cams. We got a couple more to go through here before the night's out. That was Alex Pollock running in the 24th position. Down 5 spots from where he started. Long time to make that up, though. Still 2/3 this race left.
Got a lot of separation throughout these groups as well. Seeing our first 3 still holding on to that 3-second lead over the 20 of Sean Warrobe in the 4th position. We've got a collection of 6 race cars there until it's about 9 seconds back to 10th place Stephen Gill. And we've got a slurry of race cars. It looks like we've got about 10 collected together for that 3rd group, separated by 3 seconds back to another group of 5 drivers.
So you were mentioning earlier, Logan, too, and you're absolutely right about this, that the optimal number of drivers is around 3 or 4. Right, your leaders, obviously, with these 3 cars, they are setting the fastest laps on the racetrack right now. They're running 48.1s. This second group, which has about 6 or 7 cars in it, although disconnected, they are running in the 48.6s, so about half a second off the pace, as someone just fell off quite a bit. That's the 24, or sorry, the 14 of Gregory Vadnais. What happened to him? Oh, maybe out of fuel.
That's what I'm thinking for the 14 machine. He just lost all momentum there coming through turns 3 and 4.
Absolutely did.
Bringing it down pit road. Luckily has a very early pit stall, so he'll make it into the box.
And then to put a bow on that, this big group of cars is just now matching the speed of your top 3. When I started this little rant, they were about a second off the pace, so they've sorted it out for this moment. But definitely a less amount of cars might be better on the long run here, depending how this thing shakes out.
Looks like we do have our first retiree of the race. The 4 of Shane Wielden will bring it behind pit wall. He will be exiting this race early tonight. David Moyer still spending time down in pit lane, getting damage fixed, it looks like. He's already been in there for 18 minutes, currently being shown as 19 laps down. So it's not favorable, but if he gets back out there on track, he's got an opportunity to collect a couple more positions if he can do it early enough.
Absolutely. And your leader is catching some lap traffic.
This honestly kind of helps the 88 of Ritter's, as he'll be able to collect some draft now and save some fuel. Looks like he's going to stay right in line and do exactly that rather than try to work around the rest of the drivers ahead. I'd say that's the best call there. Focus on the fuel saving for now.
Absolutely agree on that one. Absolutely agree. You got to keep it. You got to be able to make it to the end on fuel, right? That's the goal here. Is you have to make, you got to have fuel in the tank, or else you're not going to go very fast. We got a lot of drivers hitting pit road right now. That second group has decided now is the time. Oh, the 03 missed the box, spun around onto pit road. Stephen Gill, that is suboptimal. Still can't find the pit stall. He's going to lose all that track position he had. He was the leader of this group when they came in.
It looks like just shot right past, locked the brakes down, spun the car around, got back to the box though. That's about a 10 to 12 second mistake on that one. So we're going to have another group of cars coming down now. It's the 88, leaders. The 21, and the 10. It's our leaders, yeah.
Yeah, leaders on pit road. See if he can make a clean stop. And I did watch here during practice, a lot of drivers struggled getting down to the pit box here on pit road. A lot of rear braking these cars for some reason as well, just generally smaller brakes on these ARCA cars than you would have on the super speedways, I should say, than you would have on a 1.5 miles. Mark Cofield.
Tell you what though, that 88 of Ritter's hit that box perfectly.
Good.
Square in the middle, so that'll be probably one of the quicker fuel ups that we'll see in this pit cycle. Showing 8.1 seconds in the box, so that'll be a full top off on that 50% fuel cell. We'll be shooting right back out on the track here momentarily. We've got more coming down pit road now.
Joshua Adams.
Joshua Adams here on your screen. At the 3 as well, just ahead.
And not sure why these top 3 decided to not pit. I guess Matthew Montgomery's in a different pack, but I don't know why Adams didn't pit with Ritter's. There were only 3 in that group, and they pit on 2 different laps, so that is curious. But Montgomery and Adams, the longest to go on this run, as we are just about to hit halfway here.
Still trying to get sorted out here. Screen, your race leader at the moment, Matthew Montgomery in the 9, the 31 just behind, but a lap down with him.
Montgomery's on pit road.
There we go. Here's the entrance that we've been waiting to see. So right there at that 18 lap mark, that is where you'll see that green flag run end on the fuel. So we will definitely see at least one more pit cycle here tonight, possibly 2 even.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it on 1 if it goes green. But if you get a caution in a weird spot, that could be a disaster for the fuel strategy. And how many times have we seen a race look like it's going to go one way and then all of a sudden dive back the other direction because of an odd fuel timing of a caution? So curious to see how this works. Toby Ritters takes the lead back, and he is the only car in his little group. There is nobody near him. Look off the back bumper and look off the front bumper. It looks like it's 1987 out here at Daytona running all by himself.
He's got all the open air that you could ask for, but that's not what you want. You want some drafting partners here as the 30 of Adams and the 10 of Squaddle will work together coming down into turn 3, catching up to Ritters. Then we've got another pack being led by Collymore. They have got some speed here. This closure rate and the other two cars, we're going to go right around Ritters. Adams to the lead. Collymore's going to follow. Ritters almost goes up and blocks it. Thinks better of it. Now we've got Kai Collymore sitting in the 3rd position with a lot more speed to go. He's going to look to the outside, shoots to the outside of the 10.
And the damage isn't holding him back at all. Did not get any of it fixed. But doesn't matter. Running 3rd, leading that high line, getting a big push in the 61 of Cartilage. Where will Andy Berry go? Andy Berry a lap down. He's the first driver 1 lap down here. Just trying to get that lap back, and he's in a great spot to do so.
I am impressed. Ooh, touching the apron down here. Turn 3, the 61 gets a little bit lower than expected. That even kind of checks up that top line again. So Kai Collymore going to fall out of the lead. Zechariah Cartledge in the 61 will hold a lap lead here. 30 of Adams still in 2nd, but it looks like Adams is going to make a move now. We got side-by-side action for the lead.
Absolutely do. You see about 10 seconds back to your 2nd pack as well. So top 9 all by themselves. Parts of the top 9, I should say. Winkfield and Montgomery are on islands. Josh Adams back to the point.
They're both going to fall down there to the bottom of the track. The 0-2 right now holding on. Caleb Jones in the 30th position, trying to hold on to the lead lap just in case that yellow flag comes back out. But he is being hounded right now by Andy Berry. The 21 wants that lucky dog position as well. Berry's going to look to the top side, but he's all alone. No help to go with him, so he's going to lose that ground that he just had on Jones. It's going to be all about the 0-2 right now, getting that lucky dog spot. Andy Berry now back to 31st. He's keeping up with the pack. He's got some speed. Joshua Adams falls to the bottom out of line. So we'll go to the back of this group.
And there is the man himself, Andy Berry.
With the ARCA Menards flag in the background. A couple more diecast to show off as well. He's got 2 laps led, but finds himself 1 lap down at the moment. Just 1 position back from where he started this race. But indeed, we would not quite be here tonight if it wasn't for the man driving the 21 machines.
Absolutely.
Big shout out to Andy Berry.
Oh, the 1!
And carnage in front.
The 1 just crashed. What on earth? Caution is out.
One in the 0-2. Caleb Jones, big damage there as he finally gets to the bottom of the track in turn 4.
I think Andy Berry just caught the lucky dog, too. He did.
He got extremely lucky there to not make contact. That would have ruined that lucky dog position for him. The 0-2 is already taken out of it because he's involved in this one. Back here on the replay. Let's bring it down, Morgan.
Yeah, so we see here, you know, leader not doing anything crazy, pushing the 0-2 right now. Trying to get that draft. And that's why I wanted to get off of the Andy Berry in-car cam, is we're catching a group of lap cars here. And they're all over the racetrack. So the 0-2 goes to the middle and then just kind of hesitates. And it puts them around. I mean, the hole closed so quickly. The 42 kind of came down, the car on the bottom went up. And the 0-2 said, I don't want to crash right now. Ended up getting tagged for his efforts, so to speak.
I'm curious here if we can take it back one more time and look at the 0-2 a little bit closer, because that was near contact with a couple more cars. They were still screaming around here through turns 1 and 2. But now that gap just, it closed, and the brake pedal was a little bit late on being found there. And you know, I have to say, the rear ends of these ARCA cars are extremely wide, and they feel extremely tall as well as you're in the driver's seat of the car behind. So it's pretty easy to get, well, lost in the sauce, per se.
Absolutely. So here's a look at the initial contact. Lifts right there, gets tagged by the leader, goes for a slide. And then, yeah, now he's just broadside across the racetrack, hoping that everyone is able to see him. They do, and no more damage to the O2 than the track position lost. And he is actually on the lead lap as well. Because he was in front of the leader when the caution came out, he actually does get that lap back.
That's true. I didn't quite think about that. So luck playing into a factor for the O2 Jones.
And put himself in the right spot.
Unlucky at the same time, but not a whole lot of damage. So that's...
Oh, you know
I
what?
would count that as a success.
Wave around. That's why. Because he didn't pit here. That's why he is now on the lead lap. He's the last driver on the lead lap, and he should be able to get this lap back once, because everyone else has hit pit road except for Michael Cole, who is right behind him. So this could have worked. This could not have worked out any better other than the missing fuel in the tank for the O2 of Caleb Jones.
Tell you what, though, Caleb Jones still going to be looking for a quick caution as he's already 8 laps deep into this run. So, you know, realistically, only about 10 to 11 laps left here once we get green flag racing one more time. That's going to be a pretty quick pit cycle once we get to it for him. It could be just as dangerous as not getting this lead lap back.
Well, the good news, too, is that everyone's going to have to pit here. Like, we're not, I don't think we're making it to the end from here. We've still got 24 to go. Fuel tank only goes 18. I think he's going to be okay. Obviously, you don't want to pit by yourself, but we have seen enough cars get spread across this racetrack, this absolute behemoth of a super speedway. There's a look at it right there at Daytona. Good shot of Lake Lloyd. That I don't think it's the end of the world in this race to pit on your own. You're probably going to find someone to draft with, and it's not going to be that bad. Just track position you're going to lose, but if everyone has to pit one more time, as long as you're efficient, you could find yourself getting a lot of track position through that cycle.
Hey, yeah, it's got the potential. It's just you've got to have a lot of favorable circumstances
Absolutely.
go your way. So it's a tall order, but there goes the O2. He will get this lap back now, so he'll run away from the field. Everybody else will stack back up here. One thing to note, there will be a choose cone available for these drivers tonight only, though. It is just the leader able to choose the inside or the outside line. How that gets played out here, it doesn't really matter what side of the row you take. It's all about that initial jump and trying to make sure the driver behind stays attached to the back bumper as best as possible if you want to get a run away from the group. Ultimately, it's just going to really just stack back up, and we'll have that 2x2 racing, some 3-wide action certainly. We'll see here as we get later into the run as we're in the back half of this race, Morgan. This is where things get interesting at Daytona.
Yeah, you thought that it was chaotic before. You haven't seen nothing yet. I mean, this has been a great race so far. So, a lot to talk about. Seen a lot of great racing, some interesting strategy, different groups, but everyone is just going to lift less. There is less give. There is a lot more take here the rest of the way. And we're seeing some new faces up at the front. Michael Cole, haven't really talked about him, up 21 spots here. Obviously not pitting, but still up a bunch of spots. Some other drivers, Jordan Bridges is up 18. Among others who have gained a lot of positions, and we're not necessarily used to seeing them up here. So how will that play a factor? Because being comfortable with the guys you're racing with is a big deal at the super speedways.
That it is, and once we get to the last couple of laps, if we do end up using one of those green-white checkered attempts, Morgan, I don't know about you, but my favorite spot to be is about 5th or 6th in line, where you can get those big runs. This pace car will come off. Take us to the green flag, Morgan.
All right, through the restart zone, late launch. Oh, he's into the door. Oh, my goodness. Couple black flags given. Looks like everything's going to sort itself out, but oh, man, that was just about a big one on the restart. Michael Cole going to take that lead.
Dangerous.
Yeah, that's tough.
Here about 6 or 7 rows deep, a little bit of the 3-wide look. We've still got one stuck in the middle here.
That's the 9, Montgomery.
It's back there for that 17th position, surrounded by him as he'll finally find a spot in the top row. Falls in behind the 03 of Stephen Gill. We're back to that 2 wide racing here. As I look to the outside, a big run on the outside as well. I believe that's the 7. He makes contact with the wall, nearly gets down to the 03.
That's the 1 machine. Remember, that was Collymore had the big damage. Well, the car, it was fixed. Oh, the wrecking behind him, Montgomery's in it.
This one is going to collect quite a few drivers, and there is that one more caution that the 02 needed to really stay with the pack. He'll be happy about that. He'll be able to come back down pit road and get some fuel this time. We've got a hood up, blocking the vision on the apron. There's that 9 where all this action started with.
Yeah, Montgomery got the worst of that one. I am sure of it. Look at that left front, not going where it's supposed to go. What happened here?
Luckily for Montgomery, has not used that fast repair just yet, so this would be the time to do it. Back on the replay, the 9 and using that high line starts to make up the ground there.
Watch the 1 here, shoot to the high side. This is kind of where it all starts. He forces his way to the top, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. And then he's off the wall a little bit. The run is still there, so he's still able to move forward here. I don't know if the 24 didn't realize he was there, because 24 puts him in the fence big time. 9 checks up, 35 gets him, and boom! Oh, the 6 just simply did not lift. Oh, man.
33 goes for a ride as well, spins around quite a few times, and then we've still got more that are piling in the back.
Well, let's check it out with
65 ends up sideways.
Check it out with Jamie Gills here, because this was a massive, massive hit. Was off the throttle, but could not find his way through that accident. Who'd you say, the 33?
Yeah, the 33 was wrapped up in it as well. Went for quite the ride. Spins around 3 or 4 times.
He's already on the pit lane here.
Luckily doesn't blow over in this one, but
I don't know if it was
still a lot of damage. So
I don't know if it was the 33. He's still damaging that, but the 7 into the back of Cofield. I think it was the 35 that who had the issue. Gino Volanti. 33's on pit road.
Very well could be.
One more time here.
Spinning around, it's quite hard to read those numbers sometimes.
But freedom.
Oh, it's the 39. There.
Oh, 39. There we go. You're right. Ed Robley, Mountain Dew machine, caught a big piece of that. A lot of drivers having a not stellar corner in that situation. But while we have a moment, we're going to take a quick side-by-side break here. Don't go anywhere. How kind are the guys at Juicy Spider to give us that side-by-side without ever taking our eyes off of the racetrack. Appreciate all that they do for us here at VSPEED. Now that we have a moment, let's remind everyone at home, Logan, who we are. I'm Morgan Cook, your lead and your producer. Logan, providing me some fantastic color commentary. You are watching VSPEED. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't miss a moment of the racing action by hitting the notification icon. You're not going to want to miss any of these races we have coming up for the rest of this season or any of the others here on VSPEED.
Quite the season ahead of us here for the NSRLA ARCA Series. Race number 1 here at Daytona will be added nearly every single weekend until the end of September on our Saturday nights. It's only going to get more interesting, especially once the points start coming into play. We'll see where these drivers really start to separate themselves, where they're best at here. This is just a preview of what we're going to see all season long. It's going to be just action-packed through and through, especially once we get through the heart of this schedule.
Absolutely right. And one thing I want to make a quick note of, and a big shout out to a lot of these drivers. 40 drivers started this race. It looks like we still have 33 on the racetrack. That is absolutely incredible. And, you know, we're 2/3 of the way through this race, and it has been an absolute great showing so far.
Oh, Morgan, the last 20 laps typically really separates, you know, man from boy out here on a super speedway. This is where you're going to start seeing those risky moves really being forced. We're going to see this pace car come off on the exit of turn 4. It's the 10 and the 30 on the front row here. And we're right at that fuel window to the end of the race as well. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Inside line has control. Little bit of a blink there from Schlottel. A little bit of connection issues at the front of the pack. That's not what you want to see if you're that 20 of Sean Warrobe following in tow with the car that disappears every couple of seconds. Looks like it's going to sort itself out for now. Josh Adams controlling that top line with help from Zechariah Cartledge.
And the worst part about that blink is that it also kills the draft, because that car no longer has anyone to follow off of. So, and the 1 is all the way back to the high side again. Kai Collymore, as we fanned out to the bottom. We're 4 wide, still 4 wide. Somehow straightened it out. Man, this is getting dicey. Look at Espy go.
That kind of started with that blinking issue. Once again, disappeared, and Zechariah ended up trying to go straight through. Reappeared nearly inside of that left rear quarter panel. Contact here with the 42 and the 78. They door each other coming through the trial, but keep it sorted. Side by side, the 78 almost up into the wall.
And we were talking a little bit before about the 0-2 of Caleb Jones catching a break, taking the wave around, how he was going to be in a bad spot on fuel. I would say this driver now is in the best position on fuel. He could probably make it to the end with a little bit of saving, whereas everyone who didn't pin him to that caution, they're going to have to stop for sure. They cannot make it to the end from here. Schlottel way out of line.
Yeah, still having connection issues as well. So this is the best place for the 10. Up high out of the race line. The 0-2 needs to try to keep him to the middle of the track as he is still blinking in and out of existence. Lost all that momentum from the front of the pack. Now falls himself battling to stay inside the top 10. Looks to the outside. Nearly gets squeezed.
4 wide! And they're wrecking. Big crash here at the front of the field.
Looks like 5 cars this time, so not as bad as what that could have been.
Oh, that could have been a lot worse. You're absolutely right on that, Logan. We saw it live. Let's see what caused that one specifically.
Gets squeezed, loses momentum. The 3 gets in the left rear quarter of, I believe that's the 26 there.
Yeah, that's the car spinning. Absolutely.
Gonna lose the nose there for the 26 machine. That's going to be Skylar Daly. He's also going to pick up a black flag for that one. I don't know. Have your go at it here, Morgan. Let's see what your analysis is on this one.
Yeah, so I think the 10 being there just kind of spooked him, popped into existence, had to go down a little bit. SB caught him, trying to make it 4 wide. And Yeah, just a tough incident. I mean, you have to go for that gap at this point in the race if you're SB, but you also got to know it's a low percentage move, that guy's probably not going to stay in that exact location. 26 came down to block a little bit, Skylar Daly, and around he went. So, I mean, there's not much you can do about it. It's just a Daytona incident here with only 15 laps left.
So this is where we'll see the rest of the field that has not yet pit for that final fuel cycle.
You should see everyone hit pit road here.
I don't know, Kai Collymore, he's been out there for just 5 laps now, so with these pace laps, I think he's going to be extremely close. I would be surprised if we see the one machine come down. Now, if he gets a green-white checkered attempt here, so keeping an eye on that one, looks like he is gonna turn down into pit lane. So,
yeah, I definitely pit here just for exactly the reason you said, that green-white checker. If that comes out, and you haven't got enough fuel, you are in big, big trouble. A few drivers electing, though, to stay out. I believe that was Alex Pollock, maybe the only driver. It's also the Oregon machine, the 76 of Scott Rush. Haven't talked about Scott Rush all night. These two drivers collectively, they're both up 18 positions. The only two to stay out on this stop here. Curious about the 76, so he definitely cannot make it to the end. He's only got about 7 or 8 more laps until that tank is empty. Whereas Pollock on the edge of making it, as you can tell by the fuel saving on the apron.
Yeah, you'll see that 92. He'll catch up to our leader. Shut the car off, coast as far as he can, turn it back on. It's a strategy that takes some patience.
Well,
and it can get quite annoying. But
Pollock should be the leader. I'm not sure why he isn't the leader right now. It's kind of curious. Either way. It looks like the 28 going to try and take a wave around here. Not sure who that is.
Very interesting shakeup here. We mentioned, you know, that inopportune moment for a yellow flag to come out to completely disrupt the fuel cycle. And I think it did exactly that.
Yeah, we got it. We absolutely got it. It's close enough that you can make it to the end, but it's also far enough that if any kind of caution comes out with, say, 5 to go, or we have a green-white checker sort of situation, no one's really safe here. Because with the caution laps and all that, if we go green to the end, you're kind of in trouble. So I'm a little curious to see what this is going to look like. But while we're pacing here, let's have a look with our last onboard. That would be Brandon V's. There's the driver. A bit of a camera issue. I'm sure we'll get that sorted for next time. K1 speed on the hood of that 65. I'm wondering if that is the go-kart rental establishment. I wonder.
It's the only K1 speed that I can think of, unless it's a private team here on the iRacing service. And that's an interesting aspect here as well. We got a little bit of time here as they're coming out of turn 2. Talk about the schedule. We've just got one road course on the schedule. That's going to be Watkins Glen here. That'll be in the middle of August on the 23rd. So one road course to make up this entire schedule. I don't know. I like to see the road courses mixed in with the schedule. I don't know about yourself, Morgan.
This is a fun road course car as well. A lot of horsepower, a lot of rear tire in this car, so to speak. When you're going around these road courses, it'll be a lot of fun to see it. And I would love to put a schedule graphic up on the screen. The checklist was not quite complete. Apologies on that. We'll get it for next week. But we definitely have a fun season ahead. Up until I believe September 27th is our last race. So this should
championship
be
race to be decided on the 27th of September at none other than Las Vegas, Morgan. So that's going to be a great way to cap off an already awesome season with this schedule.
Yeah, these are good mile-and-a-half cars for sure. Really, I think they kind of race well everywhere. Fairly new to the service, these updated ARCA cars. So this is, like I mentioned at the top of the show, kind of our first super speedway look at these cars. Our first look at these cars, period, was at their preseason race in Charlotte.
We're going to be back to green flag racing here. Scott Rush on the bottom gets a good jump. Joshua Adams will be able to clear for that second place position momentarily over Alex Pollock, who now will fall in behind Adams. 92 immediately down to the bottom. He does lose one position, but we still have, 12 laps to go here. So that is just setting yourself up for a moment of opportunity.
Absolutely, and Scott Rush, above all else right now, is hoping for a caution. Oh, just about had it right there. Look at the one. We might have it right there. It is. And he's going to be part of it. The 92 as well. They're both into the inside wall. Caution is not out. Collymore to the point. What just happened?
The big run from the outside. The one used every single bit of it. We're going to have a late caution get thrown.
Caution just came out. What happened? Did the 76 run out of fuel? Because they just stopped in the middle of the racetrack.
I tell you what, Morgan, I'm hearing over the driver communication system that it looked like a known glitch here on the iRacing service where you're bump drafting with these ARCA cars. You can actually cause damage to the car in front, and that just acted like a parachute there for Rush and just completely slowed up that bottom line, got everything disturbed. That's why we're seeing that caution coming into play here.
Look at that run. Just sailed through the field here. Pollock got the worst of it. And Collymore is now your leader.
Really no fault to any of these drivers. Joshua Adams was the one pushing the Rush machine there. And he's the one calling over the comms about the potential damage being done. And it's a known issue. I'm surprised it hasn't yet been fixed. It's been around for more than a couple weeks now. I can't personally wait for that one to get resolved, as it has ruined a race of mine before as well.
Yeah, anything that that takes away your chance of winning that isn't a normal sort of situation is so frustrating. I mean, I've had races where I was in the catbird seat, as they say, and pit road didn't open for me, but it opened for the car behind me. So I, as the leader, couldn't pit, but second on back could. That cost me a win at a 1.5 miles once. And you get those odd, the penalty for trying to avoid a crash, but you clip the exit of pit road, and you get the unsafe pit exit penalty, etc., etc., etc. There's so many of these little quirky rules on iRacing that it kind of makes you frustrated at times, but you got to have a perfect race to be able to win one in this series and as well just on this sim.
Does help here on these Saturday nights. We do have a live race controller. Big shout out to Race Control Greg running the show over there, trying to keep all these drivers in line, trying to take care of those unnecessary black flags that you might see. Doing a great job of it so far. Thank you for your time being here, sir. Taking care of that certainly helps out making a league successful. On top of seeing 40 cars show up in race number 1, it's very stressful in that situation, having to be all over the track at any given moment.
Absolutely, and still 30 odd cars running on the racetrack right now, and I mean, it's just such an impressive feat to have this many drivers in the field. We've mentioned it a good number of times because it is something you just don't see all the time. So, massive shout out to all the admins for making this thing happen. I see Aaron Espy, David Moyer, Jacob Cochran, Stephen Gill, as well as Andy Barry. There are others I'm missing, of course. Race Control Greg for making sure everything on the racetrack is doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, what a great group of guys, and what a great league that we have here on VSPEED to show to all of you, and hopefully you're enjoying it. Again, I'm going to say this probably for the last time until the outro. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification icon so you don't miss a moment of the racing action. Logan and I should be with you for the rest of the season here. We're going to have a good time. You should have a good time with us and watch all these races here for the NSRLA ARCA Series, their inaugural season.
Glad to be a part of it here too, Morgan. It's always nice to be able to display these leagues popping up for us. You know, Saturday night, there's nothing better to do than to race on a Saturday night, in my opinion.
Agree with that.
To see Collymore here, who got advantage there. That big run, shot around the outside, then calamity ensued with the previous race leader. Now he is in that number 1 spot. He will be in control of this restart here as we will be coming to just 8 to go with the number 1 machine in control. Zechariah Cartledge will be on the outside. Dustin Lewis, Sean Warrobe, Rayshawn Wingfield, Joshua Adams, Aaron Espy, Jacob Cochran, David Schlottel, and Jared Green will make up your top 10 here. 6 cautions on the night, 23 lead changes as well. So that's about 1 every 2 laps here. A little bit over that, but a lot of lead changes to be seen at a super speedway. It makes for very interesting races, whether that's based off of strategy or just on track movement. We're going to see a lot more here as well.
Absolutely. Keep in mind, those lead changes only at the start-finish line. They don't register around the rest of the racetrack, so we probably have had triple that amount if you count all the ones that happened down to the turn 1, on the backstretch, into turn 3, out of turn 4, etc., etc. Only at the start-finish line are those 23 lead changes counted.
I'd say we'll see probably at least 1 a lap here. I wish that it would keep track of that throughout the entire track. But, like you said, right there at that checkered line, pace car will come down. Take it away, Morgan.
For hopefully the final restart of the day, into the Geico restart zone goes Kai Collymore. The bottom side's going to get away clean.
That was quite a bold launch there from Collymore. Got lucky with Cartledge falling in line, but he's going to look right back out to the outside. Oh, and didn't quite feel comfortable staying out there, so fall right back in behind Collymore in that 61 machine. You've got the 20 of Warrobe and the 30 of Adams trying to spearhead that top line, try to gain some momentum coming down the back stretch. Collymore and Cartledge will still hold that advantage. We'll see. There he goes. That's what I was about to mention. Cartledge up to the top. He's going to challenge for this lead down through turns 3 and 4, side by side with the 1.
Come back to the flag with 7 laps to go here in the opening race at Daytona. Side by side for the lead. Give the edge this time to the 1 machine. Collymore going to lead that lap, as we're 2 by 2 throughout the entire field here. It's all the way back to 20 seconds in this pack.
To see that theme stick around as well, as this is not the time to give up ground. We got 1 falls down to the bottom line there. Didn't quite catch the number on it. I believe that was the 9, got out of the top line. And there's the parachute. The 61 falls back now 4 rows behind. And it looks like another caution on the track. I believe that's going to be completely separate from this front pack. We'll have to try to find that one. Looks like maybe the 92 involved, the 64, the 59, and the 35.
Yeah, 03
all
definitely.
Receiving black flags.
03 got a meatball. He's definitely involved in it. This is going to set up, what did I say, lap 55? Something was going to happen. Did I not see that earlier? And here we are.
This will either bring us right to a natural green-white checkered attempt or one of our first of 2. There's some of the action there. We'll take it back a little bit further, let this one develop.
So 03 already with pretty hefty damage here. Fairways off the pace. And here comes the pack behind him. He maybe tries to block. No. Oh, he gets just right hooked by the 64.
Yeah, 64 just gave 0 room. Robert Boyer saw the 03 of Gill go down, kind of straddled the apron, but held his line all the way through it. Just nowhere for the 03 to go. The 64 not giving an inch, like I just mentioned. It's not the time to do that.
Right. Now let's go back and see it one more time here. So you see, there's the 03, and he's up the track a little bit right there, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know. That's a bit of a weird one. You would expect the 64 to maybe go back to the right a little bit. You also kind of think the 03 is going to go down below the line a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. That's a tough one. Another racing incident here at Daytona. Caution number 7 of the night.
Possibly trying to show some disapproval for that potential attempt at a block there on the top line. You know, like you said, nail on the head right there, Morgan. That's just a weird one to try to break down. But ultimately, it's going to bring us to, I think it's going to be our first attempt at a green-white checker.
And I hope that wasn't for disapproval, because that would have got him his lap back as well if he, because I believe Cofield was involved in that accident. Might not, no, Cofield was not. Sorry, Cofield's going to get the lap back here. He was not involved in the accident. So lucky dog here for the 97. Now Robert Boyer is the first driver 1 lap down.
This, you know, it's going to bring the 97 all the way back around here. Currently being scored in the 27th position. So, you know, if something happens up at the front of the pack, you can avoid it. You still have a chance all the way back here in 27.
Oh, absolutely you do. This would not be the first time that I've seen somebody run at the back of the field and win the race here at Daytona. In a season opener, no less. I've seen it actually twice happen, where the last driver in the pack, straggling behind the pack, literally everyone else crashed, and they were able to get the win.
Fortune favors the bold at a track like this, and it's going to come down to who's going to make that risky move and put the car up at the front of the field as they come around for that final flag of the night. That black and white checkered is going to be the most important one here, with having no stages through these races. You've got no extra chance at bonus points other than laps led. Setting the pole, I believe, gets you a couple bonus points as well. So minimal opportunities to try to make some distance on yourself in the point standings. So it's going to be all about the finishing position every single week. I'd say this one, you know, although we mentioned having quite a large skill gap in terms of the I rating here on the service, I still think it's going to be a pretty tight points field at the end of all this.
I would agree. I mean, it's a long season, but also not a full-length season either, not a 36-week season. This is, I believe 20 is what we have on the schedule, something like that, 15 or 20 races. Again, I don't have a schedule in front of me. Apologize everyone for that. We'll get it tuned up next week, but it's a good season that allows you to create separation, but also not get too far away from your competitors in terms of the points you accumulate. So I agree. It's probably going to be pretty close on points, or there will be some very close sections of the point standings that'll make for fun storylines for the rest of the way. And don't look now, but the fog's kind of rolling in here in Daytona Beach. Not exactly what I was expecting here, as the mist off of Lake Lloyd making it a little more difficult to see there down the backstretch.
You mentioned fun storylines there, Morgan. Here's a good one for you. This is not a green-white checkered attempt. This will be a natural, well, 3 to go situation once we get back to green flag racing. So a green-white checkered +1.
Green-white
so
checker.
We still have 2 more attempts at that if we need it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, at the rate that this has been going here the last maybe 10, 15 laps, I think we might need those green-white checkers.
Very well might. I certainly hope that we get to see this one finish under green flag conditions. That's never how you want to finish a season opener or just a race at a super speedway in general. You want to be able to battle it out all the way to the end of this one. Coming out of turn number 4 one more time, and well, we'll say it again, hopefully for the last time tonight. Pace car will come off. Kai Collymore in control on the bottom line. Dustin Lewis on the outside. Geico restart zone we go. Green flag drops, and it's a big push on the bottom.
Topside did not get going. I think that was the same issue that happened to him on the initial start, the 53. Dustin Lewis didn't get going then. Stacks the high lane up now. Going to fall into 4th here. Into 5th, apologies. Here comes Espy. Got that car fixed up. He's leading the high line. 3 laps to go.
Into that right rear quarter. Another one shoots up to the top. There goes Sean Orobe in the 20 machine.
Montgomery got
the
shuffled out
9
of line.
falling back.
Yeah, he got shuffled out of line there for sure, trying to make the high side work. Went a little too high. He's going to go all the way to the back of the field. 2 laps to make up a good number. 18 spots is what it's going to need to take to get up there to the lead here.
Contact with the wall is not going to help that one. He's going to fall back even further. It's a shuffle at the front to 61.
Oh, he's around. Montgomery's around.
Backwards. What happened?
Caution is out. We will have the first of the green-white checkers. He was just, this car was just up in 5th, and he is now backwards in 26th.
Fell back out of the top 10. I think even trying to hold on to a top 15 position. But we just saw him. He got recovered. He got into the wall a little bit with some assistance, but it looked like he recovered, took the camera away, and then all of a sudden he's backwards.
And we're going to find out here in just a moment. He's cleared the double wide, so he's now 2 wide. 45 to his inside. Bit of a checkup coming, it looks like. 72 maybe goes to block. Yeah, 72 just goes up. Doesn't realize he's there, knocks the nose out, then comes down and finishes him off. And
Yeah,
around
I thought
goes the
they
9.
had that one lined out. I saw that contact with the wall. Both of them got up into the safer barrier there right before that start-finish line, and I thought it was going to be all good.
It looks like no MVP for Shy this time.
That's a low blow.
Is it though? Is it? Just became NBA Finals champions? I don't know if that's a low blow.
Oh no, it's up for debate. We'll leave it at that.
Well, you could say that, I guess. Anyway, that is going to be probably the end of the contention for the 9 machine of Matthew Montgomery. No faster pair left. Not heavy damage on the nose, but definitely enough that it's going to cause issues. And he is 25th in the running order. So let's set this thing up for you as we bypass pit lane. Kai Collymore leading the race. Rayshon Winkfield behind him. Sean Warobe, Zechariah Cartledge, Aaron Espy, Dustin Lewis, Jacob Cochran, Jared Green, Joshua Adams, Derek Skedaddle. That's your top 10. Fuel is a concern now. We mentioned 18 laps was about how far you could go on fuel. We are at 14 right now. We won't be going back green until 16 laps on the tank. Now, of course, caution laps will help, but a second green-white checker could cause fuel concerns for a lot of this field, especially the ones who have been leading. Logan, what do you think?
I think this has potential to turn into a soapbox derby. It's going to be all about momentum and trying to clutch in at the right time. If you run out of fuel, keep the speed up as best as possible and get out of the racing line for the rest of the drivers that do have fuel remaining. I think if we see that second green-white checkered attempt come around, I would expect probably, I'd say like 5 or 6 race cars that are going to be out of fuel whenever they come across that checkered line.
And is that a risk you want to take? I mean, like we mentioned, it's a long enough season that one bad points day is probably not going to take you out of it, but do you risk the win at Daytona, or do you just take the points, the guaranteed points? That's really the question here that these drivers are going to be faced with if another caution comes out.
It's the inaugural season. You've got to make a statement. It is all the glory that you could ask for to take home a win at Daytona, and not to mention the first win of the season. I think you've got to go for it. You know, I believe they've got a drop week here in this 12-week season, so worst comes to worst, focus on the rest of the races, but tonight it's about the win, Morgan.
Can't say I disagree. Can't say I disagree. As a driver who has won an inaugural race at Daytona in a league, the first one of that league's existence, went on to win the championship that year as well. It can help getting that little shot in the arm and not having to worry about, anything for the rest of the year. Just put together solid races and you already got that buffer. So yeah, let's go out here and see if one of these drivers, who's going to punch their ticket, and who's going to get the first win here of the National Sim Racing League Association ARCA season number 1.
I mentioned it earlier, Morgan. One of my favorite positions is about that 4th or 5th row in line on these final restarts. What are your thoughts about where you would want to be in this situation?
I want to be the leader every day of the week here. We don't know if we're going to have another caution. I want control of this start so that I can do what I need to do to get ahead of second spot. Maybe they've fallen behind me, maybe third pushes me well, whatever the case is. I do not want to have to pass anybody here at the end of the race. Now, if we're coming off of turn 4, I would say I want to be second. But you got to get there first, so I want to be the leader before that point, and that's what I'm going to stick with.
It takes talent to get that proper parachute effect if you're in that second position coming out of turn 4. Sneak up to that back bumper, look to the outside or the inside, and then you need to quickly create some separation from the car on whatever side you decide to go for. Ideally, the outside line for that pass, and move up as close to the wall as you can. That can basically pull the parachute on who you're trying to pass if you don't have immediate assistance right behind as well.
Absolutely, but we're going to see it all play out here. Pace car's going to make that hard left-hand turn onto the pit lane. There it is. Field in the hands of Kai Collymore. Into the restart zone, and we are green here again at Daytona.
Sideline gets a much better restart here. Sean Wakefield will look to the bottom as soon as he can. That gives the top line control to Zechariah Cartledge, and he's going to push way out ahead.
Playing those lines well.
Shut down by Collymore.
He's playing the lines very well, is Collymore, but here comes the 61 on the top side. Getting a big push. They're going to be 3 wide at the front of the field. I think they're wrecking behind him. Caution is out. There will be a green-white checker. I think it was Robert Boyer is where the accident happened.
It's towards the back of the pack. We saw it there on just the very tail end of that shot with the rest of the field. One completely sideways, nearly contact.
It is Boyer.
There it is, contact.
It was Boyer in the Sunoco 64. He is around. And that is going to set up some very nervous drivers.
They'll expect this track to be rather quiet. Is pretty well the entire field at this point is going to have to shut the car down and coast as far as they can if they want to make it to this, because we're going to have a couple laps here under pacing. I don't know. We're already on 17 in the stint. I think you could really only extend this to about 22 laps, maybe 23 laps of fuel.
Yeah, you got to factor in the cautions too, though. We've had 4 or 5 cautions here under this run. And that, of course, is going to help fuel mileage. Caution laps, typically, you get 2 caution laps for 1 green flag lap. So that's probably going to put us closer to 24, 25. So can we make it? Probably. But to be safe, you might want to come down and get a splash of fuel just to make sure you can make it to the end of the race here.
Be interesting to see what our leader here does, the 61 of Cartledge. This is going to be kind of the deciding factor for a lot of these drivers. If the leader decides to come in, I would expect the entire field to come in, except for maybe 1 or 2 that do want to risk it for the win. Looks like Cartledge is going to stay above that double yellow line here. Yeah, that's going to do it. That's the deciding factor.
Yeah, no one is coming down pit road here. And now the first driver that I know can for sure make it is Corey Spencer back in 17th. There's a look at the 31 machine, 34 machine, 31 on the side of it, 34 on the scoring. He pit 13 laps ago. He can for sure make it. So can Jordan Bridges behind him. Alex Pollock as well can make it. Andy Berry is good on fuel. So is Matthew Montgomery, who we just saw spin a little earlier. Tyler Ballman, Mark Cofield, and Derek Moss is now on pit road. Those drivers can all for sure make it to the end of the race here of the lead lap drivers.
Cofield, the only driver in this stint to touch 20 laps on the stint. So great move for Cofield to bring it down. He absolutely would not have made it. Derek Moss gets fresh fuel. That's the last two cars there on the lead lap. Ed Robley in 27th scored 1 lap down. Everybody behind him will be at least 1 lap down. And towards the back of the pack there, the couple that have not been able to complete the rest of this race. That is roughly the 33rd position on back, starting with Stephen Gill in the 03, who we saw wrapped up recently. But it's all eyes on the front of this one, Morgan.
And this is the final countdown, the last restart. 2 laps. Green flag. If they make it back around, the white flag comes out. Next flag, whether it's checker or yellow, ends the race. If they don't make it back around, field is frozen at the time of caution, although I don't imagine that they would throw the yellow in that case. I think they just let it fly. Regardless, we're going to find out. Pace car is off. 61 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Into the zone, big jump. Oh, is that an illegal restart?
That's going to be likely a black flag there for the one. Not supposed to change lanes until after the start-finish line. Kai Collymore might have just ruined his race here with a potential podium finish. He's going to block that 23 of Rayshon Wingfield. Up to the outside goes Collymore. Wingfield follows. The 61 goes back down to the bottom. Kind of stacks things up, but they keep it going.
3 wide down the backstretch, and here comes the 53. No
and
help.
It's done. Yellow flag is out, Morgan.
Yellow flag is out. Kai Collymore, if that restart was legal, is your winner. Oh, man, this is going to take some sorting out, folks. Is it Kai Collymore? Is it Zechariah Cartledge? Who is going to win this race?
I'm hearing the call from race control. I think that is, in fact, going to be a black flag on the one of Kai Collymore. I think this race win might go to Cartledge, possibly Wingfield. This one's...
Well, let's go
Daytona
back.
Doesn't disappoint.
It absolutely does not. Let's go back. We can't figure out the time of caution exactly. We don't have that light available to us, but we can go back on a replay and see about where it happened. So a little further back here. This is about where it happened, and they are side by side, the 23 and the 53. This will be our best shot of it. So there's there's Wingfield in the 23. He is ahead. There's the block down. Now, any time in here, the caution comes out, so it really could be either the 23 or the 61, depending on the time of caution. This is absolutely going to shake up the finish of this race. So, while we try and sort this out, because we're not exactly sure who's going to get this win. There's the checker. It looks like Wingfield is ahead of Cartledge, so maybe it is Wingfield who's going to get this win.
I'm hearing Cartledge pleading that he was in the lead whenever that yellow flag came out, so I don't know. This is really going to put the test on to race control Greg here to make this call. And I don't expect it to be a quick one by any means, Morgan. There's a lot to break down here, a lot that's going to be entirely based on the timing.
Absolutely.
There's multiple angles that you have to look at, because we had the 23 of Wingfield, the 61 of Cartledge, and the 53 of Dustin Lewis that were all right together at that time. Kai Collymore, I think, is out of the equation. I think that black flag from that illegal restart, moving to that bottom line immediately before seeing that checkered line, that's I don't think that's going to work out for the one here. I'm pretty sure that's already been made official, but we'll have to wait until finally getting the race control report on that one.
Absolutely. So while we wait for that official word, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Hopefully by the time we come back, we will have that word of who won this race, who came second, who came third. We're pretty sure that those top three are some combination of Rayshawn Winkfield, Zechariah Cartledge, and Dustin Lewis. But we'll get the official word for you when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You have been watching an absolute banger here. The National Sim Racing League Association opening season. This race presented by A+ Transmission Specialists. Glad to have them on board for this race. We'll be back right after this.
To Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Still no word here at Daytona for who won the inaugural race of the National Sim Racing League Association ARCA Series. Still waiting on that official word. We're gonna stay in a holding pattern here until we have that official for you, so we can get that rundown sorted out and get the results of this race to you. So don't go anywhere. Just keep it locked here on VSPEED. We'll be back in just a little bit. We are back here on VSPEED. We have your official finishing order Rayshawn Winkfield's going to get that win. Zechariah Cartledge in P2. Dustin Lewis is going to finish in the 3rd position. Let's go have an interview with those 3 drivers, then we'll get into your results.
Morgan, I unfortunately don't see any of those drivers down here in the post-race room.
Or in the server at all, for that matter.
Yeah.
Well, we may have to forego those interviews for just a moment while Santa goes and wrangles them up. Let's go through some results. How's that sound?
Yeah, we might as well here. Give the drivers a little extra time to make their way down to the cool-down room.
Unreal race we had here tonight. Kai Collymore will not get the win. He crossed the line first, but a black flag is going to relegate him to likely the 26th position. So give Winkfield the win, Cartledge the 2nd spot, and Lewis will finish in 3rd. Warub is going to finish 4th. Green in 5th. Espy 6th. Sklandal in 7th. Josh Adams will finish 8th. Cole will finish in 9th. Jacob Cochran is going to round out your top 10. Of course, subtract 1 from every number on the left side. You'll figure out where your favorite driver finished here. There's Cochran. Now over to Logan.
And that will move that 71 of Michael Pravat up to the 11th position, followed up by the 88 of Toby Ritters, who we saw up at the front of the field for more than, I'd say, probably half of this race or so. We saw the 88 up there. The 02 of Caleb Jones takes home 13th on the night, followed up by the 17 of Jaden Mazzell. Gregory Vadnais in the 14 machine will get 15th on the night, with Corey Spencer in the 34 right behind. The 92 of Alex Pollock will get 17th, with the 01 of Daniel Silla in 18th. Andy Berry will take home the 19th position here in the 21 machine, and making the top 20 will be Tyler Baldwin in the 72.
Cofield's going to finish 21st here tonight. Moss in 22nd. A pair of Bridges will finish 23rd and 24th. Matthew Montgomery rounds out your top 25. Sprague is going to finish. Sprogsport, apologies, is going to finish in 26th. Robley in 27th. Rush 28th. 29th will be Boyer. Rounding out your top 30 is going to be Valenti.
Brandon V's in the 65 gets 31st on the night. Actually, at this point, we should be correct on the scoring here. So Brandon V's will take home 32nd on the night, with Stephen Gill in the 03 and 33rd. Skylar Daly in 34th in the 26 machine, followed up by the 47 of Nicholas White in 35th. Jameel Gills, unfortunate night for the 6 machine, will find himself exiting the race early, as well as Nicholas White. In 36, Ryan Collins gets 37th with an early exit. Peyton Bass in 38th. Shane Wielden in 39th. And last but not least, the 33 of David Moyer for that 40-car field, 61 laps down. A very early exit. Didn't quite get to experience this one tonight.
Yeah, definitely was a fun race, and he retired after the 6th lap of it. But that is how your field is going to end up here. I think it's time to chat. We have 2 of our drivers. We have Winkfield and Cartledge to have a chat here, but I can't get them down here, so maybe we can go send Logan to go get them and bring them down here, down to the broadcast booth, so we can have a chat with our finishers. As we determine here who we're going to chat with first, I'm not exactly sure. It's like a lottery up here on VSPEED. Crazy race, crazy finish, some things that you just don't necessarily plan for here at Daytona. Always expect a little surprise, and we talked about that earlier in the show, and we definitely got that surprise. As we look at our race, let's look at a little race recap. 10 cautions here in our 67-lap overtime plagued race. 24 lead changes is exactly where we ended up. Let's chat first with Zechariah Cartledge. Start off here with Cartledge. There we go. Zechariah, Morgan up at the VSPEED booth. You got a copy? Paging driver 61. You got a copy?
I got a copy, man.
All right. Well, probably not exactly the ending to this race that you wanted, but second place across the line. What do you have to say about this race as a whole?
Well, first of all, I want to appreciate my teammates. I mean, we had the 10 car, Derek Skladel. He was up there a lot today. The 01 had some shining. We had Caleb Jones, who wasn't subbing for Trace because we're not allowed to have that, but we had Caleb Jones filling in for Trace's spot. He was bullied all night in the 02. I mean, I don't even think he got into the top 15. He was just unlucky all night. But I mean, if you look back at the replay, I messed up one thing, and with how the race was going tonight, I was expecting a really quick caution, and I just shot that restart. I probably got 7 car lengths ahead of second place. But I learned very quickly coming into turn 1 that was not the right move because I just got swallowed up. I'm lucky I finished second because if the caution didn't come out at a certain point, I was probably going to be outside the top 10. I'm not going to lie. I should have just waited until the end of the restart zone, to be honest. But I mean, I'm going to be honest. We have more shots to win this year. I feel like we're one of the best drivers in the field. So I mean, a second place is definitely going to be nice when it comes to the championship points. So we were up front all night. I'm glad with the result. Just hope it's one spot better next time.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, for an inaugural race in a series, you're showing out here as the first driver to ever finish second in this series under regular competition. What is it like? What's it mean to you as a driver to show up to an event with 40 cars in it? How does that make you feel as a driver?
Well, it makes me feel great because we started 5th. I don't think I was ever lower than 10th all race, maybe except for a pit strategy. So, I mean, I was really proud with how we were doing. Kai Collymore was the only guy that I feel like was not better than me tonight. I mean, he was in first when I was not in the top 3. And he ruined his own race by going down to the inside. He had that race won. All he had to do was wait till the start finish line, and if he went down low, he was going to swallow me up either way, and he was going to win. So I tried blocking him in turn 1. That didn't work out. I somehow held onto my car and went low and blocked that guy. I forgot who that was, but I almost hurt myself out there. So I mean, more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm lucky with finishing in second. But I do want to thank my sponsors, Blue Line Automotive. They're an automotive company out of Daytona Beach. They specialize in first responders. They're a great group of people. They're actually helping me get to New Smyrna Speedway in the next couple months and to start my real life racing career. So that's going to be fun. I want to shout out them. I want to shout out Running for Heroes, the organization I founded back in 2019. And anybody else. And also Monaco Zero Designs. He makes all the designs for our team. And if you ever look at our schemes or our graphics, you'll see they look incredible. And it's all because of him and Bandit GFX as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm proud of the result. It's just I know we have a lot of races coming up that I feel like we're top cars in, that it's not going to be all luck. So hopefully with the luck out the window, we can get a win and hopefully run for this championship.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on second spot tonight here, Zechariah. Good run, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, man. And just side note, you have amazing broadcast skills. So, I mean, great work tonight, man. I hope they're paying you well because you do a great job.
Appreciate that, Logan. Up here making me look good on the VSPEED broadcast as always, but appreciate that. And thank you to all the fans at home who are watching this one and tuned in, subscribing to it, and all that fun stuff. And I hope that you, Zechariah, are also subscribed here to the channel. All right, good chat. We'll catch you next time. All right, now on to our winner tonight, Logan. I think you can probably take this one.
Yeah, we'll catch up here with Rayshawn Winkfield on the race win. Now, if you can pull him up into the booth here, Morgan. There we go. Our race winner, kind of unofficially, but it's really up to discretion on how deep they really want to dive into this. Rayshawn Winkfield, congratulations, taking home the first win of the season at Daytona. It was crazy, and some things really happened. Break down the last couple of laps there. Now I want you to start specifically from that last restart.
Yeah, I mean, me and Kai were teammates, and we were texting. I was like, if I can get him clear you could try to push him out to the lead because we knew they were gonna wreck in the back somewhere. So I was just trying to get him clear of me so I could push him to the lead and try to get us a podium or a P1 and 2. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect him to come down before the line like that. Kind of shocked me. I didn't know if that was like a rule or something, so I was like, okay. And then we got to turn one, and we were both clear, so we went high, and we both cleared the 61. I was in second, and then the caution came out. So I mean, I guess luck played in my favor tonight.
Well, luck certainly did have a factor in it, but you kept a clean race car. And I think that's more what we should focus on here rather than the luck. You kept this 23 in contention the entire time tonight. Now, we hit on fuel strategy, obviously with the 50% fuel load. That changes things from most runs at these super speedway courses, at least in the official side of the iRacing service. What did that how much did you have to adapt your strategy with the cautions that we had out here tonight? We were seeing anywhere from roughly a 17 to a 20 lap run, depending on the cautions. How many times did you have to adapt here to make it to the finish?
I know the last time I pitted, before that, we had a little like a 4 lap run, I'm pretty sure. So I just fell back and saved as much fuel as I can because I was trying to just make sure I made it just in case we went green because I knew there was a bunch of guys in front of me that weren't going to make it and they're running really hard. And they wrecked and I pitted and I only had to put in like I think 3 gallons, 4 gallons. So I jumped like 10, 11 cars. I pitted in P like 23. I came out 11th, I think, and that got me some good track position. And I just got to the front from there and just tried to stay out of the big wrecks. Just ran in the back most of the day, I'm pretty sure, and just tried to stay out of everything. Made sure my stops were as optimal as possible, and just keep track position.
Well, you did a fantastic job of it here tonight, Rayshawn. Congratulations. First win of the season. Who do you have to say thanks to?
Shout out to my team owner, Alex. He made my ride the Dente paint scheme I ran tonight. Pretty cool paint scheme. Shout out to Andy and all the guys who put on these races. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Shout out to my boys over there in the chat. Shout out to Colin Bollinger, Andrew Bolander, Daniel Plant Smith, and shout out to Kai. We tried to work together there. Just unlucky. That would have taken a P2, but circumstances came into play. But a win is a win. That's what they say. Yeah.
A win is a win, and there's no better way to start off the inaugural season of the NSRLA ARCA series. Again, congratulations, Rayshawn Winkfield, on the win tonight. Get to celebrating, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And I believe we do finally have a connection with our third place finisher, Dustin Lewis. I think, Morgan, have you caught up with Mr. Lewis?
We're going to get him in just a second. Can you go grab him from the hauler waiting room? We can't quite find this channel. I can't bring him down here. But you could say that your winner, Rayshawn Winkfield, he really rode the Dente here tonight. Funny how that hood had the Ride the Dente slogan on it, and he won the race. So, although somewhat controversially, but these things happen here on VSPEED from time to time. I'm sure not exactly how admins wanted this one to go, but the way it went nonetheless. As we wait to see if we can maybe catch up with Dustin Lewis here in the third spot. There he is. Not sure if we'll be able to get him down in the booth or not. Maybe just go up and chat with him in the waiting room. Just give us a couple seconds here to get this sorted out. Any luck, Santa?
Well, we've found him. We've made contact. However, again, can't get him moved. So we might have to take the broadcast to Mr. Lewis up there.
Let's do it. Let's take
the hauler waiting.
Let's take the broadcast to him. Dustin Lewis, Morgan and Logan up at the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Read you loud and clear.
All right. Well, P3 here tonight started in 4th, really hung out around kind of the top 15 all night. Had some trouble on restarts, but it all worked out with a podium finish here. Talk me through your race.
Oh man, well I went into it because I'm fairly new to iRacing. I've done oval racing sims in the past, and this is the first time I've ever done.
Well, I'm not sure what just happened. There we go. There's a bunch of people here.
Goodbye.
You guys still got me? That was strange. I just got pulled out of the channel.
Yeah, I still got you.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Dustin, again from the top.
All right, so anyways, I'm fairly new to iRacing. I just got my Class D license for oval, but I have plenty of oval racing experience on other sims like NR 2003 and others. So I was honestly expecting to qualify somewhere around mid-pack, and when I initially went to the pole, I was like, oh crap, here we go. And then I went down to 4th. I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But I think the one mess up I had was not pitting when everyone else pitted on the first round of yellow flag pit stops. That did put me up front, but I had to come down pit road. It put me in the back, but I kind of banked on there being multiple yellows and me getting right back on the same strategy.
Well, definitely worked out for you as we did see 10 yellows in the 67 lap race, and you were able to make the most of them coming to the end of the show here. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out? I mean, P3 in the first race of this season's definitely got to feel good for someone, as you mentioned, who is fairly new to the sim.
Yeah, I really don't even know who to thank, as there's probably a lot of people I probably could thank. First off, thank the guys that have put this thing together. This was really well run. I have done one other sim race this week that was also really well run, but this one I think tops it. So thank those guys. Thank God for just giving me the opportunity to be here, to have a computer that can run iRacing the way it does. And man, I'm pumped for the rest of this season. I know it's Daytona. It's anyone could win a plate race or finish well in a plate race, but this was so fun.
It definitely was fun from our point as well. But congratulations, Dustin, on finishing 3rd here tonight, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully, you can follow that up with another podium finish.
We'll see. I'm gonna try my best to.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, and that is your podium here. For everyone here at the National Sim Racing League Association, and especially A+ Transmission Specialists for sponsoring the opening race of the season. To thank all the admins who made this thing possible. Aaron Espy, David Moyer, Jacob Cochran, Stephen Gill, Andy Barry, Race Control Greg, and whoever else helped make this thing go round. Anything that you have to say, Logan? Any final words here for this broadcast?
Well, we knew that Daytona just causes chaos throughout the entire race. You said it best. We saw the 10 cautions. We had 24 lead changes, and probably the weirdest way to end a race that I've been a part of, either on the track or in the broadcast booth. It's still up to discretion, I believe, but if anything changes from these standings, we will update you next week when we go to Charlotte for these ARCA cars here in the NSRLA ARCA Menard series. And, again, we'll get that schedule graphic up next week as well. But let me tell you, it is a absolute banger of a schedule going through this season.
Absolutely. And for everyone here at VSPEED, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker, Logan, of course, my color commentator tonight, might be leading the show next week. I've been Morgan Cook, your host and producer. Thank you so much for being with us here for the last 2 hours of your Saturday night. And we'll see you next time, 1 week from today, here on VSPEED. Catch you next time.